We got into it a little bit before the show about the Danny Jacobs, Canelo. You guys were up there. You were giving me your opinion.
We were up there with Triple G. He
Triple
wanted
G.
to see them in person. You know, Triple G signed with DAZN, who Canelo has a multi-fight deal. Triple G has a multi-fight deal, and that was really the reason why, or one of the biggest reasons why Triple G signed with DAZN. That was the clearest path to a third Canelo fight. Yep.
Now, let me ask you this. Are we seeing it in September, or are we going to wait up a little bit?
Well, I've always said that Canelo had to beat Danny Jacobs, which he did. You know, I had the expectations, the way Canelo fought against Triple G, not necessarily the first fight, but in the second fight, where you could tell he learned a lot from the first fight. He got a lot more confidence from the first fight, actually surviving 12 rounds with Triple G in the first time. You know, he fought better in the second fight. I still don't think he won. I think if a draw would have been fair, 7-5 Triple G. Would have been fair. Harold Letterman, you know, may he rest in peace. We just lost Harold over the weekend.
Yes.
Harold was a fixture in boxing. I remember starting with HBO with Kevin Kelly in the early 90s, and Harold was at all the fights. And, you know, arguably you could say Harold, as the unofficial scorer for HBO, was a lot more accurate than many of the officials getting paid. You know, he had the advantage of having the screen in front of him, instant replay there in the booth or wherever, you know, they had it set up. So a lot of times I think Harold, and plus with the headphones, he wasn't as affected from the crowd as some of the live judges that don't wear the headphones. So Harold had both Triple G Canelo fights scored 8-4. You know, which I would have agreed with, but like I said, the rematch 7-5, a draw. But I just didn't see. I mean, if you look at it, arguably, two judges scored it 7-5 for Canelo, and two judges scored it 7-5 Canelo over Jacobs, where I thought he won much higher than that against Jacobs. But you know, we're not dwelling on the past.
Yes, Tony, we know he's. Tom's just saying it right now. He's not dwelling on it.
Triple G is looking forward to June 8th. He's coming back to Madison Square Garden. That's where we built the Triple G legacy, the brand. He wants to get Canelo in the ring because we feel that Triple G is the people's champion. That he has not lost. I firmly believe he hasn't lost in the ring, which means he shouldn't have lost his titles. If it was a draw, he would have retained his titles like he did in the first fight, even though the scoring in the first fight was a little bit questionable as well. But so Canelo did his thing. He beat Danny Jacobs. If Triple G wins against Steve Rolls, which this is one of those catch fights. You know, Steve Rolls, a lot of people might not know him. He came up, he was with Emmanuel Stewart, he sparred with a lot of the guys from the Kronk Gym. He's undefeated. He was a two-time Canadian national champion. He's 19-0. He's with Lou DiBella. And if you talk to Lou, I mean, Lou says, you know, the only reason why Steve Rolls isn't a household name is because he hasn't had the opportunity. Triple G has given him the opportunity. This is one of those situations where everyone, you know, the biggest news I think last week was announcing Triple G's new trainer, Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Who, you know, it's all kind of like a big circle where Jonathan Banks trained Vladimir Klitschko after Emmanuel Stewart, unfortunately, when he passed away. And those were huge shoes to fill. There was so much pressure on Jonathan to succeed. And he actually did one of the things I've never seen before, where he trained Vladimir for a fight in Germany. Vladimir won by knockout, looked very impressive. And a week later, he fought Seth Mitchell. I believe that was on Showtime in Atlantic City, and knocked out Seth Mitchell. So he went from his debut as a trainer, Vladimir Klitschko as a heavyweight champion, 1 week, and the next week flying to the U.S. And in the middle, I think Emmanuel's funeral was in the middle of that, and then the next Saturday he knocked out Seth Mitchell.